Yeah, so every pump will need some kind of plumbing to connect the vacuum inlet to your process, your application, whatever it's being used for. A lot of the questions we get about vacuum plumbing are going to be about, what size do I need? How far can I take it between the pump and the process? In general, we say stick to the inlet connection size. So whatever the inlet on the pump is, you want to stay at least that diameter piping or larger, depending on how far the plumbing is going. Incorrect size plumbing does happen a lot. So a lot of customer applications you'll see, like for example in robotics, they're tied to suction cups which have a very small connection point. Customers want to use that for the whole run of plumbing, but it doesn't match what's at the pump. What happens is that really small diameter plumbing restricts the airflow, so you can only move so much air through certain size hose, certain size holes, orifices. Without that larger plumbing size to move airflow, you're not using the full capacity of the pump. You won't necessarily damage the pumps. A lot of them have relief valves to protect them, so the pumps won't see any damage, but it will affect your process. You won't get as much vacuum maybe, you won't see as much airflow, so it really makes your process inefficient and it's a lot of wasted energy. So if you have really small connections at your application and you're trying to figure out how to fix that, how to make it work with your pump that has a larger inlet connection, you don't want to see restriction. Usually we suggest using larger plumbing close to the pump for as much of the pipe run as you can for the longest length, and then once you get within the last couple feet to your application, then you can start to use smaller diameter plumbing until you match whatever connection size you need. Most common questions we get from customers are going to be how far can I run my pump, or like how far can I put my pump from the application, because they're worried that they're going to have too much piping and you're not going to see any vacuum at their process. Typically that's not an issue as long as the piping is sized correctly. So usually that's when we guide them and say, how far are you actually going? If they're under 100 feet, we don't worry about it. If they're over, that's when we give them some advice on increasing pipe's diameter size.